So just for an introduction, because I always do it, my name is Christine and I'm from Gloucester, and I've been taking over this lesson for the past year now. And today we always get an interesting question, and today our question is, what is the role of communication in our lives? So I'll start off with you, Vina. What is the role of communication in our lives?
Like communication plays a very vital role in our life,
Mhm,
from building a relationship to doing a job, and everything is dependent on the communication.
mhm. Okay, so it helps us to you're looking at it from a perspective of getting the job, and speaking to your prospective employer.
Like there are three type. One is the verbal communication which we do, and the second one is non-verbal communication. That also
Excellent.
works. Like if we are talking to a person, it's eye to eye contact, and that is also working very nicely.
Hmm.
uh, Both the communication is very important.
In fact, um, about 80%, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but about 80% of communication happens non-verbally.
Yes.
So it's only 20% that is, spoken. However, it is then the most impactful if you're a good speaker.
If you're a good speaker, then it becomes 50-50. It
Exactly.
increases.
It increases. Um, so yes, is exactly what you said. We've got the verbal communication and we've got the non-verbal communication. Now, how does it impact our lives? So you've told me that it impacts our lives, for example, from a job point of view, if we want to go into a job. Uh, any other ways how non-verbal communication, verbal communication impacts our life? What else does communication help us to do?
Like if you want to become a leader or go in politics, then a verbal communication help you a lot. Like you have to be a very good orator, and you have to present yourself in a great way. Like you are
Hmm.
the best one. No one is in front of you.
Okay. Now, let me just take this a bit further. When we talk about communication, we are talking about, you told me, verbal and non-verbal, but we also have other ways of communicating,
Yeah, writing
like
also,
we have writing,
sign
but we
language,
also sign language,
sign
and
language.
over here.
And this is the like internet
Exactly.
is also a way of communication.
Technology. Now, how has, for example, working online, because most of us have well, some of us wanted to work online and some of us have had to work online. How do you think that has impacted communication? How do you think that has impacted communication in our lives?
Like online education, I never thought about this type of education was possible, but when it happened, we gradually grabbed it, and now if you ask me, I feel this is the best way of communication. Teaching also, best way of teaching,
Okay, better than face to face.
face to face. Because
Why?
I have time for myself. Like in offline I didn't have any time.
Yes. In terms of time management, I agree. I completely agree. In
And
terms of
education
communication,
also,
yes.
education
Uh-huh.
also I can enhance my myself, my capacity also. I can check how much I can learn from, like joining this class I learned a lot. I can do music class also, I can do drawing class also, I can do any type of classes online, like 5 to 6 hours. I have
Yeah.
that much of time. But when I am doing a offline classes, then I have to spend 6 to 7 hours in for my school. Then I get tired and I don't have any time to for myself.
I agree. Um, what I'm looking at is, has it affected the way how does it affect the way we communicate? Because obviously there are barriers that we have to overcome because we are we're not present in the same room. So, we're not in the same space. There's that boundary of, there's the screen in front of me that I have to overcome to get to you. So how has the internet and this platform, has it hindered our communication? Has it helped our communication skills? What do you think?
It has helped. For me, it has helped. Like in my class also, in the beginning they were having some issues, but now they are very friendly to these gadgets,
Mm-hmm.
and they are able to understand. And if they have problem, they raise hand, and they know how to unmute, mute themselves. So these are the things they learned here. And it's, for my class it was very good. I had a very nice session for 1 year.
Okay, very good. Okay, so communication has impacted our lives in several ways. Just to summarize what you've said, so it impacts our lives in getting a job, and it also, communication impacts our lives um, in in teaching. And when we talk about communication, we are not just talking about our verbal skills, but we are also talking about our non-verbals, which we see um, a lot more, because 80% of our communication happens non-verbally. So it does affect our lives in every situation. So I'm just summarizing what you have said. Now, do you have any experience where non-verbal communication has affected your life?
Like there was an incident, I was standing in a temple, and one
Mm-hmm.
priest was just looking at me, and I was thinking he should call me and ask me, because I was in, I think so, in 11 or 12, and something happened to me, and I was very much depressed that time, and I wanted to talk to someone. And
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at his face, and I was thinking he should call me, like he should ask me what happened to you, why are you sad. And the
Mm-hmm.
moment he called me, and he called me come here, are you having any, are you suffering from something, or is there any problem in your life which you want to discuss with me? Like it was a non-verbal communication between eye to eye contact, and he understood everything what I wanted to say to him.
Okay, so it was just that bit of non-verbal communication affected your life in a way that it brought the help that you needed.
Yeah,
It gave you that connection.
yeah, he gave me the strength. He told me, okay, life goes on, you have to be strong, and don't think anything negative. Like he was the priest, he just calmed me down.
Very good. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, Rina. I will now move on to Khushbu. Hi, Khushbu. Hello, Khushbu. 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 Hello. Khushbu. Yuraj.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
evening.
Good evening. So until we wait for Khushbu, I'm just wondering, how does communication affect your life?
Hello, hello, ma'am.
Oh, I'll get back to you, Khushbu. I'm just with Yuraj now. Is it okay? Okay. Um, so how does communication affect your life?
Definitely, it plays a vital role in my life, not only in my life, but also in human life. And
Mm-hmm.
it has definitely a very big role uh, uh, for the development, for the not only we can say development, but we can say that without communication, we cannot imagine human life, because it is the way that this not only describe, but this is the way that makes the solution of our problems easily if we use it correctly. And communication is the part of our life. uh, it is a major part of our life. Without it, we cannot imagine our lives, ma'am.
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yes, we can't imagine life without communication, absolutely not, because it affects every area. And what is its role in your life? What is its role in your life? How do you find,
Yes,
how do
ma'am.
you mostly use communication?
Yes, ma'am. If I talk about my life, it affects at two levels. First one is personal level, and personal level, I mean to say that in my family it plays.
Mhm. Okay, and how?
Yes,
In what ways?
yes, ma'am. At personal level, it helps me to communicate with the members of my family, and with the help of communication, I share not only my feelings, thoughts, sorrows, happiness with all of them, but also sometimes if I need some suggestion, some uh, different ideas, then it 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 is easy for me at that time, with the help of communication that the members of my family gives me through it, and I use it for these type of things at personal level. But if I talk about my professional life, there are uh, co-workers with me, uh, you can say colleagues with me in my school where I used to go for teaching, and
Mhm.
at that place in my school, it helps me to share my views.
Yep. Hello. Hello. I've lost. You need to unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, you're back.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, ma'am. It's a very phone call is coming to me that is very urgent for me, and now you
That's
can
fine.
move to someone else. And
That's fine. Yes, don't worry. Carry on. I will come back to you later. Don't worry.
yes,
Khushbu,
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
good evening. So, Khushbu, what is the role of communication in your life?
Ma'am, I think good communication is a very good thing for our life. If we don't have communication, we can't understand anyone.
You can't understand anyone.
Yes, communication.
Yep, that is true.
Yes,
Mhm.
communication can take place in many forms. Sometimes we communicate by taking about our ideas, thoughts, or emotions. But if we can't communicate very thoroughly or very deep ideas with very deep ideas, then someone cannot understand my ideas maybe. So I think communication is playing a vital role in the personality of any individuals.
Very good. And what role as such does it play in your life?
Ma'am, in my life, I think good communication plays an essential role in my success and in my workplace and in the other personal life of
In your
my
personal life
also.
and in your work life. Okay, and me and Vina were talking about how communication is varied, that we've got the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. Can you give me an example of how non-verbal communication played a role in your life?
Ma'am, verbal communication means like talk to any individual.
Exactly, that's verbal. Now the non-verbals are what I'm doing, like with my hands,
Yes.
or eyes, or certain expressions in the face where you don't need to speak, but your expression speaks for itself.
Yes.
So how was there a time in your life where you non-verbally communicated something?
Ma'am, it's very difficult to handle non-verbal uh, to communicate to any other person. I think because I think it's a very hard to understand verbally someone. Sorry, ma'am, I just missing my words. Sorry, ma'am.
That's okay. So, so you're trying to tell me that you think non-verbals are very
Yes,
difficult to
non-verbals are
understand.
very difficult sometimes. If like with kids, sometimes my kids are not understand my verbal or non-verbal. Then I think how can I taught my kids? Because maybe 2 years, 3 years child or maybe kids can't understand verbally or maybe non-verbally. It's very hard to
Okay.
understand them. Yes.
Okay.
And I think, ma'am, if I have poor speaking or writing skill is a real hurdle in my communication.
Okay, your writing skills that you find that the hardest in the type of communication.
And poor
Okay.
speaking also, ma'am, it's a big hurdle to communicate to anyone.
Okay, so there are, yes, there are, speaking problems, especially like in communication between different languages. There's a language barrier. But the good thing, for example, about non-verbals is that they are universal. If I came into class and I came into class like this, what would you think?
Ma'am, I think ma'am is sad. Maybe ma'am have some problem, some issue.
Exactly. So non-verbals, the good thing is that non-verbals are understood by everyone around the world.
Yeah.
No matter what language you speak, your non-verbals are the same. We all have the same non-verbals. And in reality, we communicate more with our non-verbals than we do with our verbal communication. So really, it's sort of easier to understand non-verbals because non-verbals don't lie.
Don't lie. Yes, this true, ma'am. It's true.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because we can say, I can tell you, I can just do this, and I'll just go, and you tell me what's wrong with you, and I just go, oh, nothing, I'm fine.
But something has happened with you, so you are doing like this in front of me.
Exactly. I'm saying I'm fine, but my non-verbals are saying, no, she's not. She's not okay. So this is what I mean. This is communication affects our whole life, but focusing a lot on it simply because this is exactly
Body language.
when you present yourself for a job interview as an entrepreneur, you're presenting in front of people. So you're going to be presenting the whole package, not just your voice. Your voice, very important. I'm not taking anything away from
But
it.
body language also may be positive to front of all the students or maybe audience.
Exactly. So always keep that in mind. Now, how does your communication now, because you've mentioned your kids and how difficult it is sometimes to make them understand, how does communication play a role in that area of your life? How do you make your kids understand? What do you do? What do you do with your voice? What do you do with your body? What do you do to make your kids understand?
And sometimes when they can't understand my body language or my communication skills, then I give a big hug or maybe kiss. Don't. It's okay. It's okay. I
That's
love.
another form. That is
Yes,
another form.
yes. It's like a mother love. Maybe our kids like this. It's okay, baby. You can't cry. It's okay. Don't scared with mom.
That's good. So that is another form of communication. Now, how have you found communication affecting how did the role of communication in your life change, for example, with online classes? What role did communication play there?
Ma'am, in this class LWT class 8 to 8:30, I am very happy to do all the classes. I am very it's very easy for me nowadays because I know all the things. I think this is a good communication skills with this class.
Okay, and how has the role of communication affected your life like that? How have your communicating skills affected your online life? What have you started to do more? For example, in order for me to express myself more and because I'm not there, I'm here, I maybe need to use more examples or more gestures, or my voice needs to do different things.
Yes.
What have you found?
Ma'am, I think your English speaking may be good. It's a good body language, so I want to learn more from you.
Okay, yeah, but what have you been doing? How has your communication changed? Not me.
Yes, my
How
communication is changed, ma'am, due to my English class. My speaking English with good communication, I can communicate in my family members with my kids also. So I think it's a personal in my personal life. My personal life, it's a good communication skill with my family members.
so the role of communication in your life, communication has ex so extended beyond what it used to be. So it's allowed you to become freer in expressing yourself with your family members and
Yes,
your
ma'am.
and
Now,
your
now
kids.
I'm free. Now I'm free to express my all the communication and all the words to communicate. How to communicate with teachers and kids and family, elders and youngers. So I think it's a communication is playing a good role.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you very much, Khushbu.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll jump over back to Yurashastan.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Good evening, ma'am. Actually, I am here now.
Oh, okay, so it's you. Okay, so let me just ask you the question. What is the role of communication in our lives? What does communication do?
Ma'am, as I think communication help us in like what we think in our mind. It helps us to transfer to another person.
Very good. Helps us express ourselves. Very good. Okay, what else does it help us do? So we've talked about, Veena has mentioned about getting a job. Khushbu has mentioned about getting across more easily towards friends and family. And you have mentioned as well expressing yourself. What else does it help us to do?
Uh,
Express our feelings. What is it helping us to do now?
to improve our knowledge.
Very good. Very good. Any other things that communication helps us do? Now remember, as I was telling Khushbu and Veena, there are two things as well, that we have verbal communication and non-verbal communication. With Veena, we also discovered that non-verbal communication can help us in getting help, expressing the need for help. What else can communication help? What can communication help us do?
Ma'am, actually, I have no idea because I have not prepared about it.
That's okay. We'll discover a couple of things before our class ends. So, do you like dance?
Yes, ma'am, I like.
Okay. Do you like your traditional, do you have a traditional dance in India? I believe you do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now that is, dance is, for example, a non-verbal way of communicating. It's a way of expressing ourselves. Yes? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What is another way how we can express ourselves, how we can communicate? We can communicate through many other forms. We can communicate through dance, and what else can we communicate through?
By singing,
Yes, very good.
by drawing,
By drawing, very good. And those are well, singing is verbal, yes, but music is non-verbal. It's also a non-verbal way of communicating. So not only do we use, so here we go, we use our voice, we use our body, but then we also use our creativity. So these are all ways how we can communicate, and we also use technology. So all these ways how we can communicate help us in different roles within our life. They help us express ourselves. They help us communicate, give the message, put the message across. And learn, improve our knowledge. They help us understand each other better and get a message
Yes.
across and build relationships. Okay, and
yes, ma'am.
we can ask for help. And communication
Yes.
also plays a role in us getting a job.
Yes, ma'am. It also helps us.
Okay, and how else does it help you, Yuraj? How does it help you at home?
In my studies,
In what way? How?
like my teacher says or she explains
Mhm.
about any specific topic. So yes, that is communication, and by that, in studies, it is helping me.
Helping you understand.
Yes,
Very good.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. And I hope you've enjoyed this class. I hope I have opened up a few more doors there with different pathways of communication and how they affect our lives and what role they play in our lives. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I wish you a good night. And I will be seeing you guys on Friday now. Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.